Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of Trollvember and my video supplement on the live stream that I did. Today's prompt was regret. So we went from young to old and created an elderly female troll who I believe is remorseful of something. Maybe she just led a hard life. She didn't do something she wanted to. She did do something she didn't want to. Maybe she told her son to go get some milk and never saw him again, something like that. Whatever the case, the intent was for this to be a woman who was down on her luck. She was in her last legs. Maybe she's homeless. Maybe she's shunned by society. I don't know. All that really matters is that she is regretting her life, her life choices, everything. Something about her life she heavily regrets. So to communicate this, the first thing I did was give her the large bags under her eyes. I also made her tusks larger than any other troll currently in order to emphasize that old age thing. Her hair is droopy and comes in shadows like long locks hanging loose and unkept. I didn't have too many trolls wearing black, so I thought, okay, let's try something new. Let's try and add some color to the troll's outfit. Let's give her a black shirt, just to try and give some kind of mourning feeling to her outfit. I thought, okay, since she's regretful of everything, she might have maybe not a lot of access to a lot of materials, not a lot of gold, not a lot of good leather. So I'm trying to think just hide and cloth, or this black material and cloth. So I give her a cloth skirt, a black shirt, and a hide belt, and that's about it. I consider roughing up her shirt, decide to go against it. I rough up her skirt just a little bit, extend her sleeves down to her arms, like maybe she's hiding herself from society, trying to just cover herself up effectively, because her dress goes down to her ankles and her arms go down to her wrists. And the only gold she has is like a single bangle on a sash. I also consider adding a shawl over her shoulders and her back in order to just reinforce this old age thing. Like, again, she's covering herself. She's withdrawing, hiding herself from the world. Her hair covers her head. But between the sash and the shawl, she just looked like she was in a military uniform, and her hair just covered up way too much of her face. So I had to redo the shawl entirely, trim out the front of her hair, just make that shorter. Hope I could find something better, some better composition. So I made the front of her hair shorter. I added a few tears to her outfit again, just in hopes that it would add some interest of it, because trolls do have torn and worn clothing. I tried making her shawl longer and just more prominent, so it looks less like military shoulder pads, just to see what that would be like. And it was okay. It was mixed. I think it was getting somewhere, but ultimately I decided, okay, the long hair, not looking good. Since she has the black outfit, maybe she's in mourning. Maybe she's a mourning character. So I thought, okay, Minecraft skins let us have transparency in them. So let's give her a veil, like a mourning veil. And I'll add a little flower on top just to add some decoration, give her a single brooch for a piece of gold. That didn't come out too well. The veil ended up looking more like a beekeeper's helmet than anything else, and it just didn't go too well. So I replaced the brooch with a golden flower on her veil. Again, that still didn't look too good. The veil looked pretty good. The veil looked okay, but it still wasn't quite right. So went back to the drawing board. Had to look around. The veil was boxy in places, had to have corners removed, the back removed more or less. And someone suggested, okay, why not extend her outfit and give her essentially just a single black mourning dress if we're going for this mourning look. And I hated it. She looks like a super spy. She looks like she's a Black Widow from Marvel or something like that. She doesn't look like a troll. I compare her to the other trolls in the roster, and she just stands out so much. I at this point, I just had to scrap the entire outfit and start over again. I also decided to try moving her eyes up a pixel. Her eyes are unique now. No other troll has eyes this high. There are some trolls with different heights in their eyes, but none are quite this high as before. The benefit of this, though, is that it better establishes the dark circles under her eyes, because when her eyes were lower, they looked more like a blush than dark circles. I feel like having the eyes at a higher elevation helps emphasize them as dark circles under her eyes, like she's tired. I also think, okay, let's give her more traditional troll materials. Let's give her hide clothing. I would still like to explore new things, so I have one troll wearing a grass skirt, so let's take that. Except this time, we'll age it up a bit. We'll make the grass look old and worn. It's around this time that someone in chat recommends a specific color for her shirt, so it's not just the usual brown. It still has a little bit of black to it. It's more of a grayish brown look. So I take that, I extend it, I add more colors to it. I have 4 colors that I thought would be good, but didn't ultimately fit too well, so I removed those, and I just extended to her shirt. I gave her a short, torn up shirt because at the end of the day, every troll I have has very exposed arms, very exposed legs, so I decided to keep going with that. She's not going to be too covered. She's going to have most of her legs exposed, she's going to have most of her shoulders exposed, and she's not wearing shoes. I wanted to make a note that she's not wearing shoes. And while this is a normal thing for trolls, I hope that it would emphasize that she's in poverty. She's in a low place right now. I also thought, okay, this is an elderly troll. Let's add some liver spots to her skin. Maybe this will help emphasize the age factor to her. And I think it came out pretty well, actually. So I put on liver spots on her body. I gave her one sleeve slightly shorter than the other just to give it a little bit of asymmetry, give it a little of a rundown, and the end result was pretty good. Her grass skirt needed some touch-ups. The front of her head made her look bald, so she definitely needed some level of a hair layer. I briefly considered going back to the veil, but it didn't quite work out. I couldn't quite get it right. So I focused on fixing the skirt first, more than anything else, just to get that done. That could be done easy enough. And here I am considering the veil, trying to think of, well, what can I do with this? Can I go back to that? Okay, what if it's not a veil? What if it's a hood? I have one troll with a hood already, so let's add to that. And we'll hang a little hair above her eyes just to make it look less bald. And I can make that gray area translucent like before to give it a little bit of a shadow over her face, like she's hiding her face from the rest of the world. And I combined the hood with the shawl idea. So now it's also hanging over her shoulders and back like it's a single cloak or a hood with a shawl. I don't know if there's a name for that. Just a single piece going over her, hiding her, keeping her warm maybe, I'm not sure. But the black colors were still iffy on me and the decisions were all wonky, so I tried switching them to hide. So she's got a brown hood now, which is very similar to another troll, but again, it just doesn't work out. The colors don't work out. So I try switching them to cloth, and I extend the veil, and I give them a little things in the front, like she's effectively wearing a blanket essentially around her shoulders, and I feel like that comes out really well. So I start texturing everything. I add some gold bangles to the front of her shawl. I'm not entirely sure what those things would be called, but the 2 things hanging over her chest, I add a bit of gold to the front of those. I work out her hair, get it out of her eyes so that it's not covering her pupils. And again, it just seems to be working. So I add a golden flower to her hood just to get a little bit more interest there, give her gold, because every troll has some level of gold, and the result worked out great. I'm really proud of it. It took a lot longer than the youth troll. It was definitely more challenging, but ultimately I think we came out on top. The next prompt will be Brawl, which will be, which I already have imagined some kind of a fighter or someone who got beat up recently, something like that. You'll have to tune in to my Twitch channel, link in the description below, or look in on my bluesky for all coming information. At this point, I'm probably already working on the Brawl troll as we speak, so be sure to come in, check me out on Twitch, and I will see you next time. Farewell.